Welcome back to the Be Real, Be Well project. Today's topic is screen time, social media, and mental health. You're going to be hearing from some young people that I interviewed who'll be sharing their perspective on this topic. Their hope is that after you hear from them, you'll feel inspired to have your own conversations. You'll notice that throughout the video, there are optional pause moments that will allow you to stop the video and have a discussion about each segment. Let's take a look.
I can see Instagram as like a few different things. It can be a time filler, but it can also be very positive in that I can stay in contact with a lot of my friends, see what they're doing.
It's just mainly it's just entertainment. It's just short little doses of entertainment.
I think for me, it allows for me to learn about random stuff that I want to, and it can provide for like mini dives into stuff.
It's like a very social thing for me. Like that's how I like connect with all my friends. That's how I'll like text them like, "Hey, where should we go for lunch?" And so that's why I think that it's like so important for me.
And then also as a source of inspiration for a lot of creative outlets, probably like game design. And when I was doing a lot of 3D modeling, I see like a lot of little skills that I could use. Same with photography. I got a ton of ideas, especially in short form content.
Things that I enjoy and get out of it is being able to communicate with people super easy, knowing what things are happening in the world. The whole thing with Israel and the like Gaza Strip, like I knew about that like the day of or the day after, even though it's like so far away. It's just like so easy to like know what things are happening. It's like everyone's kind of connected on it, which is nice.
I mean, I think that it's kind of you see this like whole other reality. Like when I scrolled through TikTok, I'm like, "Oh, these people look really cool." And then I kind of like when I'm scrolling, I see them, I get like inspired and I'm like, "Oh, I kind of want to look like that or I want to act like this or have this kind of personality." And I think that's what causes you to like be like, "Oh, this is so fun," because you're like getting this new insight.
I'd kind of sit down and maybe I'll feel more relaxed for like 10 minutes and then I'd just keep scrolling for like hours and hours and then I'd be like, oh my god, like the sun is setting. I should probably start work soon.
Really addicting, especially like to teens. Like even I'm addicted to my phone and I know that like it's a bad thing, but it's like something that I can't like make go away.
You're comparing yourself to all these people and you're like, I know that they may be using some kind of like beauty filter or some kind of app that like I'm not using, but still I'm looking at these people and I'm like, oh wow, like they're so pretty, I wish I could look like that.
I think it's when it's shorter form content too. It's just harder to gauge how much time you spent on it because it feels like you're spending 5 seconds on one thing and 5 seconds on another. It feels like you haven't spent a lot of time on any one thing, but compound that over like 100 different short clips of something, it ends up adding up.
The internet has provided for a lot of inspiration, having a lot of artists that I like and wanting to make art because of that, but also seeing so many good works of art was hard for me to actually like my own art.
And I think that's something that like everyone kind of experiences, especially girls, I think, especially with like body image and then seeing all these like skinny girls and you're like, wow, I wish I could have that waist or something like that.
But I could definitely see how if people are posting pictures of the things that they're doing and then seeing the pictures of things that other people are doing, and you're seeing how many likes they get and the interactions and comments, like I could definitely understand how that could be a stress inducing aspect.
With friendships like breaking, and like social media doesn't help with that at all. If like you have a problem with a friend and then like you guys like try to text it out, it's not like the best way to do that.
Like I found myself, if I don't have my phone for a day, I'm like, oh, where's my phone? I feel like the need to check everything, like my social media, which can make me kind of like reliant on it.
I think it can really change the way that your brain is wired. If you spend your time looking for really short bursts of entertainment and looking at other people's snapshots of their life, it can definitely feel a little bit more dull when you go throughout your life without a phone and you're looking for these short little bursts of like excitement, and it's just you aren't really gonna find it.
I try to not be on my phone as much. I try to like distance myself from it periodically just to like make myself not feel as attached to it and as much like I'm dependent and need it always.
I put my screen time on and then I see how much time I'm spending and I'm like, oh, I need to change that. Like that is actually an issue.
I would say hanging out with friends instead of like things that you would like when you're like texting your friends to like text them, like hang out with them.
And I definitely have people around me who encourage me not to be on my phone, which can be good and it also can be unhealthy in some ways. If your parent is always telling you like, don't be on your phone, don't be on your screens, like I'm gonna take away your screens if you do that, you tend to want it more kind of, because it's something that like the whole like if you can't have it, you want it more. I think the best way to not be reliant on your phone is to yourself manage it.
The timer's kind of nice. I have it on 15 minutes for Instagram, but it started at 2 hours and I was hitting that cap every day still. So now I have a 15-minute timer and I mean, I hit that cap also, but 15 minutes I think is a reasonable amount of time to spend on a social media.
I think I'd like to use it less. I think that spending my time on a different hobby would probably make me feel better.
Before I was like really addicted to my phone, like really addicted, like I'd use it like every single second that I can. Now, since I'm like really busy and like most of the time I can't find time for it.
I find timers are really useful, or time limits. So I have timer for like to shut it off and to start going to bed, and then I have one to actually like say go to bed.
And another main thing I use my phone for is just like music. I turn off like notifications and don't let it distract me, and then I just like get to work.
So I just made my phone like black and white, so it didn't have colors, which definitely makes scrolling through Instagram a lot less enjoyable. It helped a little bit.
I always like hanging out with my friends in person better than texting. It always makes things better, so stay in reality sometimes. It makes being online a bit better too.
To me, the biggest issue with social media is just that it's a big time sink and you don't get much out of it. So I think it's probably smart, even if you're on social media, at least spend your time on social media learning about things that interest you that you can apply to real life situations.
The teens and young adults that I interviewed obviously had a lot to say. I hope you felt inspired to think about ways that you can support your own mental health. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, be real and be well.
Let's move on to another one.
But you're like, I like the pink one, but I don't want to get bullied for it. Like, get the pink one.
Right over there. It's right there. It's like right there.
Oh, perfect.
They've had many lunch.
I don't know.
What's it gonna be called?
It'll be so the channel is called the Be Real Be Well Project. Yeah, check it out. Okay.